Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before I get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using and all the dimensions are listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products and help support my channel. There's a link to our Facebook group. We'd love to have you join that. There's my email address if you have any questions, and I think that's about it. So, oh yes, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. Okay, that's enough of all that stuff. Just a reminder that the starter kit's going on, special is going on until October 31st. We have about a week from today. Seems Halloween's coming too quickly for me. Anyhow, you can get $155 worth of product for $99. So if you have any questions, I would like to just be a happy stamper and get a discount, send me an email and we can talk. Today we're going to be playing with Reindeer Fun. Now, I went back and forth. I had the reindeer paper out and it wasn't giving me the look I wanted. So I'm going to show you what I made, but then I made some decisions late last night and we're going to change it. But I do love this set. It's a lot of fun. So, move this. And this is the card similar to what we're going to make. What I didn't like is I like the layout of the card. It's a Z-fold card. It stands up. It's very nice. I don't know if you can see the snowflake texture in here as well and on here. But I don't know. I did this out of crumb cake and I wasn't overly impressed. And yes, I could have just colored it or I could have cut it out of the paper because this does cut out of the paper. But that's not the look I was going for. So I'm going to try something different today. So let's move on and I'll just stop talking. So before we get started, we're going to do some stamping. So I'll get my pieces out here that I need to stamp on. This is just a scrap of cut off. I think it's about a half inch wide. That's for our verse. I have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square. There's actually 2 of those. We'll get back to that other one in a second. And I have just a piece of Misty Moonlight. So we can do some stamping. And I'm going to grab my pad here. Oh, and our envelope. So I'll do this first. I am going to do the inside of our card first, which is going to be out of Misty Moonlight and Boho Blue. I know, it's one of those things in the middle of the night, I decided I wanted to change this card up. So, and put right there, looks good. And on this, I'm going to stamp a tree out of Boho Blue. Just like that. We'll do a second generation, because we can. So that's that piece. And the envelope is going to also have a tree on it. Also, when you're stamping, make sure that you keep your stamping down in this corner or do your decorating of your envelope on the back. Don't go in this corner. I got a card returned because I went a little crazy with my stamping and had some other stuff over here and got my card returned because we're not supposed to stamp in this little quadrant here. I guess the machines can't read it or something. So just an FYI. And then we are going to take this little piece here and put the boho away. We're done with that one. This is Merry Christmas. I'm going to do it in, actually, I'm not sure if I want Boho Blue. We may do 2 and I'll decide later. There's that one. And I know I have a scrubber around here somewhere. I'm just off to the side with my little Stampin' scrubber. I'm going to do one in Boho Blue. That's not very straight either. Okay, let's do the Boho Blue first. Oh, I know the problem is, as many of you know, if you watch my channel, I've cut my Merry Christmas in half, and I did not put it together straight on the block and together straight. That's why it's crooked. You can cut anything apart you want to make it work for you, but do remember to put it on the block straight. So we'll do the Boho Blue over here. I'm not sure which one I want. And you know what? I don't like that one, but I do have another strip over here. These are just offcuts when I was cutting, and I'm just going to do this because we're going into a much darker color. And this is back to the Misty Moonlight. Sorry about that. I did not realize I hadn't put that on there straight. That's much better. So we'll set those off to the side. I'm going to close the boho. We have one more thing to stamp, and we're going to do that on Misty Moonlight. I'm stamping the deer. We're going to have a blue deer. Oh no. We're going to make this card monochromatic, and I think that's what was wrong with my first one, why I didn't like it. I like it, but I don't like it as well as I think I could. So we've stamped our beautiful deer. And I'll put that out of my way. I believe that's all the stamping we have. So we have some die cutting to do. We're going to need to die cut him. And I have a piece of the white I told you that was 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. We're going to be doing die cutting with that, and I haven't grabbed the dies out. And we are going to be using this beautiful die. And that one. And what I want to do on this, I'm going to do mine this way, and I want to center it in this little more width up at the top than the bottom. And I'm going to just grab a piece of tape to hold that on there. Well, as soon as we get the board up. So we are going to need some plates. We're going to need plate 1, 2, 3, and a second 3. So let me do this again. Get this back where I want it. More room at the top than the bottom. Just a little bit. How many times you guys made a card and then you decided to change the card? Because it just didn't do it for you. I'm going to leave that all together for a few minutes while we cut the deer out. Our blue deer. Why not? It's the joy of being able to be artistic. You can have any color of deer you want. And I personally think it's going to look really cute. I even changed the DSP as well. That we're going to be using, so. Oh, I don't want to put this away yet. We're not done. We do have a little bit more to do with that. So here is our deer. That beautiful Misty Moonlight Mama and Baby. Okay. And let's get this out of here. And I'm going to use, this is a little foam mat you get. And when you order this part of the Stampin' machine, I can't remember what it's called. Take your pick tool, sorry. But if you take this and rub it across here, should help release a lot. And it does. Everything's out of the die. So that makes it nice. And it should loosen everything up. Now, when you do take this apart, when you got small details like this, go slowly because you don't want to rip your branches off. I'm just pushing it from the bottom. Because I did do one of these too fast and ripped one of my branches off, and I didn't want that. You got interlocking branches here, so there we go. And I'm just doing it all right over this. I'm gonna grab my, I just grab the pokey tool now. Get the rest of these out. So what we're gonna do is we're going to be embossing this now. As soon as I get all little pieces out, which they're popping out really easy. Except for this one that wants to be stuck. Okay, and there's all our pieces out. Except for like I got a couple that just want to stick around a little bit. There, I got them off now. And then what's nice about this is I can just take this whole thing to the trash can and dump it out into the trash and don't have a mess all over my desk. Okay. Let me pick up a couple things here, because we are going to be doing some embossing. And we need plate 1 and plate 4 for this. There's plate 1 and this is plate 4. And I have grabbed the Snowflake Sky Die 3D. And now I've seen people use it this way. I've seen people use it this way. I'm using it with it, the branches coming down on mine. So I don't think there's a right or wrong way to that. So, and the snowfall, it's lighter up here and it gets a lot more at the bottom here. And I want a lot more on this. So I'm going to put it in this direction. So I get the bulk of all this at this end right here. But you can decide whatever you want. But I wanted some heavy embossing on that. All the snowflakes. All right. Then we still need that embossing glue for one more piece. This is a piece of Boho Blue. That is 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. Piece of Boho Blue. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm putting them at the end where the lot more of the snowflake is. If you want less, put it at the other end. There we go. Lots of snow on that. And I believe that is all we need this for now. Taking a quick look at everything to make sure I have everything we need. I think we are ready to build the card. So, I'm going to grab a drink of my tea. And grab my trimmer. This is a piece of Misty Moonlight that is 11 by 4 1/4. Like I said, all the dimensions will be underneath in case I miss something. And we are going to be scoring this. We are going to be scoring this at, let me see if I can get this so you guys can see it. There we go. We are scoring at, make sure I got the right 2 3/4. I want to make sure I score the right ones. Don't want to have to start over. And 5 1/2. Like I said, once you get your pieces cut out for this card, it goes together very quickly. And I need a bone folder. Huh. Well, I just have my old, very old bone folder, so we'll use it. The other ones must be in the room. This is my first bone folder when I started doing stamping and stuff back in, oh, I don't know, early 80s. It actually was used for glass, for stained glass. My dad used it, and he gave this one to me. So I still use it on occasions in my office. But anyhow, and that is not very straight, so hang on here. If you're not straight, straighten it up before you start putting stuff on, which you can do. I must not have... Just a second here. That's better. I can live with that. It's just off a little bit. Okay, so first we need mats. And I'm not going to give you... I'll try to give them all to you, but... So I have cut mats and layers, and this is out of the Winter Meadow paper. Now, the Winter Meadow paper carried over from last year. It's in the annual catalog. It's beautiful paper. That's what the first card was made up from, too. So, you're going to need 2 pieces of that. These two are 2.5 by 4, and this one is 5 1/4 by 4. Then you're going to need your... I'm using mats on mine. You're going to need 2 pieces. Make sure I've got the right ones here. 2 5/8 by 4 1/8 and 3 5/8 by 4 1/8. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start gluing these on. I love this paper. I was so happy when it came back. And we have small borders on this. Just make sure I've got it lined up correctly. It's one thing with glue. Get a little wiggle room in there. You know, that's scientific name, little wiggle room. Now, I did cut these off. Oh, I did right like that. I did cut them off at one time, so I can line up my pattern. It's not that crucial with this. It's not that noticeable on this particular one, but if you use something else. Now, some of the reindeer paper would be very cute with the reindeers and stuff, but I was going for something a little, I don't know, subtle. And we'll go ahead and put these on here. Like I said, once you get all the pieces cut, it goes together really quickly. Last piece. Just like that. There's the base of our card. So we have our insides. We're not going to put the insides in until we've got the front made. Now you're going to need another piece of Misty Moonlight for this one, and this one is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. And what I'm going to take is I'm going to take this one here, and it's going to go like this. We're going to be stacking them this way. Okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it onto the back of this. This is just small, slightly smaller than this. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue here. The reason I'm putting it on this is because I don't want it to be off the edge of this one. And I'm just going to take this, because that is just slightly smaller, like that. That gives you that look. And then I'm going to put this on the other. Now, I thought about using dimensionals on this. This card is really, having the layers and stuff, is very bulky. And since I want to keep my cost for mailing my Christmas cards down, I've decided not to use that. But I think having all the embossing and stuff gives it a lot of dimension without having the dimensionals. Okay, there's that part. Next, we need our deer. And we have to decide what color we're going to be putting at the top. I think we're going to use the Misty Moonlight one. I'm just going to cut a little. Keep it as even, but it's no exact measurement there. Okay, now the deer I want to stick, so Mom is sort of about like that. Yeah. You can place your deer anywhere. Now, if you don't have the reindeer set, but you want to make a card like this and you want a deer, we have lots of deers in past sets. Grassy Grove has some deers you can die cut. The Peaceful Deer, that's the first one I came up with the punch, which I do have, but it's no longer, you know, available, so I'm not using that. But yeah, if you have the Peaceful Deer, that would work very nicely for this as well. So far, how do you like the blue deer, guys? Comment, tell me what you think about my blue deer. Now, I've got another one we'll put over the top so you can see. I did a pecan pie deer. That's what I was thinking about first using, until I changed my mind. So, let's put this on our card. We want to square this up as best we can. So I'm using my grid. Let's see, I'm just looking at how many. I got 3 there and 3 there. So I'm going to flip this over. So exactly where I want it, and I'm only putting glue on this piece here. Now, if you really want to use dimensionals, you can. But like I said, I'll show you when you get this up how thick it is. Hold that for just a second. You can see how many layers we have in that one part. You're really right at what your postage will allow. So that's why I'm saying I don't use dimensionals on these thicker ones. Okay, this needs to go inside. The easiest way is to get it centered and lined up is just to lay it like this. Make sure it's not showing and it's straight. I've showed this before. I've did this on different style of cards. I'm going to add my adhesive. And then close the back into it. Just like that. Give it a little rub. Don't see it from the front, and there it is on the inside. Okay? All right, now we need to bling it up a little bit. So I have brought out, whoa. The cats were climbing in the shelf above and just knocked a bunch of boxes down. So I'm going to grab some, I'm going to grab the smaller ones of these, and I'm going to put one on either side of my Merry Christmas. And then I made a little silver bow. This is the gold and silver 1/8 inch trim combo pack. Very nice. I love this stuff. I know it had been back ordered, but it's back available as of this morning. Okay, and I'm going to put this right in here. Just rolled up a little glue dot. This stuff does hold its shape if you, I know it's going to get squished in the mail anyhow, but you can fluff it up. I think I want to cut those off just a little bit. So this is my monochromatic card with a blue reindeer. Now, just guys, let me know what you think. This was the one I decided last night, but this is the one I cut out of pecan pie. So let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the blue reindeer or did you prefer the pecan pie? I'd really like to know. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next week. I'm not sure what I'm making next week. I've been challenged by my sister to make a Christmas card box. I made one about 2 years ago, And she loved it. She's wore it out so much after 2 years. She wants me to make one that's sturdier and bigger. So I'll work on that this week and see if I can come up with it by next week. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week.